This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize the headlines that you may have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 25th of November, 2021, and I am DK.
I am Miss Pope.
And I am GK. In case you missed the headlines, here they are. The Daily Nation, it's fresh trouble for Ruto at the ICC. The Standard, why Ruto wants CJ Kome out of 2022 polls team. The Star, jitters rock OKA over Raila invite to Kalonzo NDC. And the People Daily, Ruto takes on CJ over poll sitting. So Miss Pope, why don't you kick off for us today?
Yes, so today I must invoke the law of unrelated things because something is bothering me. These thoughts might be connected or maybe not, I don't know, but follow my thoughts.
Okay.
One, the Paul Gisheru trial at The Hague has taken a new twist.
Tell us.
The prosecution has forwarded evidence that implicates William Ruto. According to the ICC, the evidence reveals that witness tampering was conducted for the benefit of and coordinated by none other than William Ruto himself. This is the first time Ruto has been mentioned directly in reference to witness tampering. But what are the possible outcomes? We have spoken many times of the DRC Jean-Pierre Bemba case. So Bemba's lawyer was arrested by ICC on charges of witness tampering and bribery. His lawyer was convicted and charged, but the ICC also said that Bemba was responsible. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end of William Ruto? Will the ICC do a Bemba on him?
Ooh.
Number two, just this morning, DCI Kinoti was elected into the Interpol Executive Committee. He was. The Executive Committee is the governing body that supervises the execution of Interpol's work. In other words, Kinoti has been elected to represent both Kenya and Africa's interest regarding international crime. And we see some significance in Kinoti's appointment. After Bemba's lawyer was found guilty, a sealed warrant of arrest was issued for him. And this arrest was executed and facilitated by none other than Interpol. What is my point? Has Kinoti been placed in this executive committee for a greater reason? As I said, these incidents might be connected or maybe they are not. But in our view, we are witnessing a clash of worlds. Local events seem to be correlating with international events in a way that does not make sense. Let me explain. The Sonko leaks have continued to expose the corruption in our judiciary.
Indeed.
The same judiciary that has issued a warrant of arrest for Kinoti. But Kinoti is now representing Kenya on the global stage against international crimes. All the while, the Ruto-Gisheru connection is heating up. Something doesn't add up.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Is it possible that we are seeing a convergence of international interests against a Ruto presidency? Or is all of this random? Is this the reason why Ruto is racing towards 2022? Because he sees safety in the presidency? I can't help but wonder.
I am also very curious indeed. DK, what do you have to tell us today?
Before I say that, the question that Ms. Pope is asking, I would say that things in politics don't happen. They are made to happen.
That's true.
Now, Chinua Achebe in his book, Things Fall Apart, wrote that whenever you see a frog jumping around in broad daylight, then know that something is after its life.
Oh, okay.
This is because frogs ideally come out at night. They don't come out during the day when it's hot. And to this we want to ask this question. If a politician has been campaigning for 4 years in times of no campaigns, could something be threatening his political life? Since 2017, William Ruto has been jumping around Kenya in choppers, giving out money and wheelbarrows in what can be seen as early campaigns for the 2022 presidential election.
True.
The question we want to ask today is, What explains this restlessness in William Ruto? Does he want to become president so that he can sleep on State House mattresses? Zero. Or is it because he wants to convert the presidential plane into a hustler jet? Nothing. Our hypothesis today is that just like the jumping frog, something big is after William Ruto's political life. It has made him restless for the last 4 years, and that big thing is the ICC. Ruto's push to become president is not about State House mattresses. After all, his 1.5 billion home in Sugoi must have better mattresses.
Definitely.
It's true, yeah. Look at it, it must have better mattresses. Neither is it about the presidential plane. Ruto is the master of the skies.
He's got 5 choppers.
He's 5 luxurious choppers, as you're saying. Are more private than the private presidential jet. By the way, it is not also about the hustlers or the wheelbarrows. Ruto's push to become president is about protecting himself from the ICC. He wants to be president for self-preservation, period. When Charles Gisheru surrendered to the ICC, guys, William Ruto immediately took a highly private trip to Zanzibar.
He did.
In that trip, only his close Kalenjin confidants were allowed to attend.
I wonder what they were talking about.
Why was that trip that important? A few weeks later, a whole deputy president of the nation of Kenya was stopped from flying to Uganda, and he did nothing about it. What did Uhuru Kenyatta's government know that Ruto did not know? And since that Uganda incident, Ruto hasn't flown out of Kenya, at least not to our knowledge. Why is that? At Fort Hall School of Government, we have constantly reminded Ruto of the case of Jean-Pierre Bemba, as Ms. Pop illustrated, who was arrested by ICC using a sealed warrant of arrest. And if the Daily Nation today is telling us that William Ruto is being mentioned in witness interference and corruption, this can only mean that the ICC will soon issue a warrant of arrest on William Ruto. And maybe they will seal it like they did with Jean-Pierre, or they won't. The only way that Ruto can protect himself this time from the jaws of ICC is to become president. But be warned, because Ruto has told us that what we have seen him do for the last 4 years has not been campaigns, but mere warm-up sessions. All the over 135 in 1 month, they're just warm-up sessions. What he's telling us, in other words, is that the frog is about to start jumping properly this time. And he's going to go for the presidency at whatever cost, even if it will require him to force his way into it. Question is, if Ruto is cornered in 2022, will he bring country down like Samson?
Oh my goodness, I hope not.
No. Today, guys, I would like to submit that William Ruto has known all along that ICC would come back to haunt him. And knowing what was coming with ICC, he is now attempting to use the judiciary to distract us from what he truly fears. William Ruto is using the red herring strategy to distract us from the ICC case, and is instead diverting the public's attention to developing a conspiracy with the judiciary at the helm of it. He is building a background of acceptance that the elections will not be free and they will not be fair. On Ruto's chopping block this time is Chief Justice Martha Koome. Ruto and his affiliated MPs want the CJ to withdraw from a committee that is overseeing election preparations. Ruto claims that her presence in the committee jeopardizes the impartiality of the judiciary when it comes to election results. But the truth is quite the opposite. Co-opting the judiciary to being involved in the election process is an excellent strategy. On one hand, for the owners of process, it ensures that the judiciary do not have grounds to nullify the next election. If you have signed the minutes, you cannot go back and complain about what has been agreed upon.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, those with the best interests of the country at heart do not want to see the costly mistakes of 2017 repeated. In 2017, the Supreme Court judges staged a civilian coup when they overthrew the will of 15 million voters using technicalities. The 2017 election nullification cost Kenya 1 trillion shillings, equivalent to 1 billion shillings every working hour. The sitting CJ at the time even tried to stop the rerun, but the Supreme Court did not have enough judges to create quorum. That is how we avoided a prolonged electoral period and a constitutional crisis. Maybe the judiciary has finally learned its lesson. It is safe to say that we cannot repeat the past in 2022. It just cannot happen. And the CJ Kome, maybe she understands this. So the fact that the CJ is sitting on the Elections Preparation Committee as a guarantor of transparency and accountability in the process suggests that she has accepted the burden of choice that the election process presents. That it must serve the greater good. Ruto is trying to build a background of acceptance that the 2022 election is already misengineered so that his supporters do not accept anything but a Ruto victory. DK, I do wonder about the Samsonian option. For if Ruto does not win in the next election, we have to ask, will country suffer the consequences?
Will country fall apart?
That's what
the question we need to ask.
Okay, so we have a 3-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines for you. We ask ourselves these 3 questions. Is the headline topical or speculative? Is it repetitive or groundbreaking? And finally, is it thoughtful or just plain lazy? For those of you that may have forgotten, let me reread for you the headlines quickly. The Daily Nation, it's fresh trouble for Ruto at the ICC. The Standard, why Ruto wants CJ Kome out of 2022 polls team. The Star, jitters rock OKA over Raila's invite to Kalonzo NDC. And the People Daily, Ruto takes on CJ over poll sitting. So what do you guys think about the headlines today?
I like the Kalonzo, the jitters rocking Raila's invite to Kalonzo NDC. And I was talking to some of my colleagues when I said, this one is like you invite a girl inviting her ex-boyfriend to her event, and the current boyfriends are there. And then she continues to tell the boyfriends that it's not as serious as it appears.
We're still negotiating.
So I understand why the other Oka boys are feeling bad due to Raila's presence.
Indeed. However, if you would allow me to disagree a little bit, the Star is a nice headline. However, the topic that needs to be discussed more often than anything, I think, is the
Ruto ICC.
The Daily Nation. Ruto at the ICC. So would you allow me to say that the Daily Nation has our winning headline?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, DK, you want to toss the papers for us?
Toss them, but not too hard because they were not that bad.
They were not too bad.
It's only that they missed the best part of today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country, where we also have a 3-part criteria to break them down for you. We ask ourselves these 3 questions. Is the cartoon humorous or dry? Is it satirical or pessimistic? And finally, is it effective or just plain lazy? So why don't I ask Miss Pope to kick us off with the Star?
Yeah, so the Star, we have caricatures of Raila and Ruto and stretching, getting ready for campaigns. But there's a caption there and it says, we haven't started campaigns yet. I mean, Ruto has been
campaigning for
exactly for 4 years. So I mean,
the frogs are just jumping for warm-up.
Exactly.
This is all warm-up.
This is warm-up. Then I don't know what campaigns really
look like. I guess we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bit funny. It's a bit funny.
It
not
is.
bad. Not speaking to the moment. Yeah.
DK, take us through the Standard.
Let me look at the Standard. Oh, it's talking about the KPLC meeting, board meeting, and it's a caricature of, I think, board members inside a boardroom, KPLC. But basically, the cartoon is speaking into the purge that is currently happening at KPLC.
Yes.
And you remember the president said or issued an order that by 23rd of this next month, electricity bill should reduce by 30%. Na nakwambia in that place watu wamemulikwa. So they are wishing that lights can go off. But I think the purge has started. So I think that cartoon is talking into that.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad. Topical.
Not
Very
bad.
topical.
Not very topical.
But let me tell you about this Daily Nation one. So you have the Mount Kenya Unity Forum desk, and you have a number of microphones, and standing there is what we call Iron Martha. She's wearing the full shebang. She's wearing a kashuka, her usual shukas, and then on her shuka is wrapped I don't know what it's called, but the thing for swaddling babies. And inside there, the lesso with the babies. And inside that lesso, very comfortably, are some characters. So on the first one, we have Mr. Kalonzo, who seems to not have grown the second wiper. He only has one wiper.
Projecting from his forehead.
Projecting from his forehead.
Yeah.
Kalonzo here looks like a guy who just come to Nairobi. You know how they stick onto the windows, reading all the billboards.
Just smiling.
Seems to enjoy.
The next one there is Mudavadi, very happy, very smiling.
Very
he looks
happy.
like a baby who's taken a lot of space.
Mukombero.
Behind him is Gideon Moi.
Looking like a makanga.
Who looks like a makanga. He's got a shirt on, I think. With the sharp head, looks like the wiper thing is hitting him a little bit. And then next to him is Baby Wetangula reaching out for a microphone. And they're all saying gaga, gaga, baby language, basically.
But I think the microphone next to Wetangula is speaking to the fact that he's already declared his presidency. So that is why he's still part of these babies, but he has his own agenda.
He's declared very many times. I don't know if he's ever run. Finally, let's move on to the People Daily. So you have the Kisumu bank heist. You have a cop who has his AK-47 pointing to the ground, and he's holding a white shirt, and he's saying these words: "After 3 hours gun drama, our well-trained officers overpowered the heavily armed thugs and recovered this T-shirt."
My goodness.
So,
so pessimistic.
I have only one thing to say. I know the People Daily, they give it to us for free, but I think they need to pay for their cartoons.
For their cartoons.
Cartoons need to be paid.
So, okay, so we've not really tossed any cartoons. So between the Daily Nation, the Standard, and the Star, which one do you guys think takes the cake?
I'd go for the Daily Nation.
Yeah,
Daily
the
Nation.
Daily Nation.
It's funny.
It's very funny.
Like it.
There you have it. Our winning cartoon is the Daily Nation. So please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also on your TV screens. Find us on Pang Free to Air, GoTV, and Star Times. On a day when we had a winning headline from the Daily Nation and a winning cartoon from the Daily Nation, all I'll just say is a very simple quote, which is to inform the public: ignorance is not bliss, it is oblivion. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be here with you next time.